KUAM TV 8, your home for the 2018 Winter Olympics. News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on primetime, senators vote again on the administration's tax refund bill, but the measure fails to get enough votes to be sent to the governor's desk. Plus, a sweeping decision by the district court in the high-profile H-2B visa case. And the verdict is in. Jurors late today announcing the fate of a 66-year-old man charged with manslaughter.
Half a day and good evening. I'm Nick Delgado beside Crystal Paco.
In an unusual move, senators took another vote Wednesday on the governor's bill to borrow money to pay timely tax refunds, known as the Tax and Revenue Anticipation Note. And the measure was defeated 8-6. Senator Joe S. St. Augustine changed his vote from yes to no. He says he did so out of concern that the Trump tax cuts will reduce Gov Guam revenues by $48 million, and it doesn't make sense to borrow money because the government can no longer afford to.
This same bill voted on last May and passed 7-6. It's unclear how senators were able to vote a second time. We were not able to reach Legislative Legal Counsel Julian Uggan for an explanation. It's the same measure lawmakers refused to transmit to Adelup for signature and became the center of a dispute ever since. Democrat leaders say the bill needed 8 votes, a legislative majority, to pass. But after a lawsuit by the governor, the Supreme Court ruled that laws can pass with a simple majority of those voting. The legislature still refused to transmit the bill, saying the high court ruling was prospective and applied only to future votes. The governor just this Tuesday filed suit again, asking the court to compel lawmakers to transmit the bill. Now, just before news, Governor Eddie Calvo issued a statement saying the legislature demonstrated just how out of touch they are with the people they are supposed to represent. He said, quote, "It smells like an attempt to muddy the waters on the issue of getting tax refunds to you faster. Because for some reason, 8 of your senators don't want you to get your tax refunds." Senator Tom Adda, Speaker B.J. Cruz, Senator Regine Bisco-Lee, Senator Talina Nelson, Senator Michael St. Vice Speaker Teresa Lahi, Senator Mary Torres, and Senator Joe St. Augustine. The governor, of course, listing those senators off in the vote. He thanked senators, however, who did vote yes, and for them and their families, those being Senators Will Castro, Senator Fernando Esteves, Senator Tommy Morrison, Senator Luis Muñoz, Senator Dennis Rodriguez, and Senator Frank Uggan Jr.
A sweeping decision by the district court in the high-profile H-2B visa case. Chief Judge Francis Tadenko Gatewood has ordered federal immigration officials to revert back to their previous practice when foreign labor applications were more routinely approved.
As Nestor Lecanto reports, the ruling has huge implications for the local construction industry.
Contractors complained about the crippling effect of what they charged was a change in practice by the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Service, in which foreign labor visa applications went from decades of nearly 100% approvals to the last few years of nearly 100% denials. As the workers dwindled from a high of 1,500 to just a handful now, they got the relief they were seeking from the court. Attorney for the contractors, Jeffrey Joseph.
The injunction takes us back to where we were prior to 2015, and that status quo will be maintained until the case is resolved.
In her order, the judge wrote that the recent course by USCIS prompts serious legal questions and poses very real threats to the parties, the island, and the nation. She went on, these rare circumstances call for rare relief.
Our argument all along has been that either the government has changed the rules that we play by, in which case there should have been notice and comment and formal rulemaking procedures, or this is just a new interpretation that the government is arbitrarily deciding, we're changing things.
The order affects about 300 visa applications by the plaintiffs in the case, but it also applies prospectively. So in theory, it sets no limits.
It's huge relief to the plaintiffs and the employers who have relied on the H-2B program for years, because now they can get workers back to work and start working on those projects again. I think the judge's legal reasoning is solid and sound, and even if the government does appeal, given the decision of Judge Gatewood, I'm confident in our chances on appeal.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
already dealing with financial retirement request process. However, Camacho hopes to have the funding identified in the coming days.
A negligence and malpractice lawsuit has been filed against KUAM and the Guam Memorial Hospital for an incident back in July 2015. The court documents are public record. The named plaintiffs have asked that their identities not be published. The lawsuit alleges KUAM negligently operated, controlled, and maintained the Padre Palomo Park in Hagåtña. That's where one of the plaintiffs fell, prompting a visit to the emergency room. At GMH, plaintiffs allege hospital officials failed to clean the wound properly, resulting in a severe infection. Plaintiffs are suing for damages proven at trial.
Not guilty of manslaughter, but guilty of assault as a misdemeanor. After only a few hours of deliberations, jurors returned with the verdict against 66-year-old Antonio Arreola. Back in 2016, Arreola and Paul Nakamura were drinking at the Slurp and Burt Bar in Harmon when Arreola reportedly hit Nakamura in the head with a beer mug. Though Arreola was initially charged with aggravated assault, charges were upgraded after Nakamura died from severe head injuries months later. Sentencing is now set for March 6th.
Now to an update on a story we first brought you. A 16-year-old caught burglarizing a home in Maiti over the weekend is being charged as an adult. Styler Sanguinis is charged with home invasion and burglary, both with the special allegation of having a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony, along with criminal trespass and underage drinking. As we reported, the homeowner woke up to find this teen inside his home early Sunday with several items in hand. The suspect tried to get away, but the homeowner was able to take him down until police showed up. The suspect also had a box cutter on him, but no one inside the home was injured. He admitted to investigators that he had been drinking beer and vodka that night, but was too drunk to remember anything that happened when he was inside the victim's home. His bail is set at $20,000 cash.
A South Korean soccer player on Guam is accused of rape. Byung-oh Kim is charged with third and fourth degree criminal sexual conduct. Court documents state police responded to the complaint at the Leo Palace in Zonia early Monday. The victim told police she awoke to find a man known to her rubbing her stomach and breasts before he took off her clothes and allegedly raped her. She froze up and did not know what to do. Documents state he then took her to the restroom where the alleged act continued. The suspect covered her mouth when she screamed. That's when she bit his hand and ran out of the room yelling for help. The suspect ran after her, but she was able to get to a security guard who then called police. Kim, who is listed to be an attacker with the Sangju Sanmu team, was released on a $10,000 bond.
A registered sex offender is back in jail, this time for molesting a 13-year-old boy known to him. 35-year-old Jerome Joe Cruz was arrested and charged with 2 counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony. On Tuesday, the victim alleges he awoke to Cruz next to him groping his privates. Cruz then allegedly placed the boy's hands on his privates. This went on for half an hour. The victim reported he pretended to sleep through it all. When Cruz fell asleep, the boy reported leaving the room crying and not wanting to tell anyone right away because he was scared.
Well, a man who stopped a Guam police car in Dededo to yell at another man being placed under arrest in the back of a patrol unit is caught with the drug ice. Devin Jesus Carbon Santos is charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance and possession of the drug with intent to deliver. Court documents state an officer who was transporting an arrestee was forced to stop his car near the Dededo cockpit after the suspect blocked them. He got out of his truck and opened the patrol unit's rear passenger door when he began yelling at the arrestee in the back seat. The suspect was combative and refused to listen to officers. He was handcuffed. That's when officers found 2 resealable bags in his pocket. The suspect admitting, quote, "It's methamphetamine." Bail set at $5,000 cash.
An ex-cop previously convicted on drug charges is back in court. Jason Ortiola posted $5,000 cash bail on Tuesday and pleaded not guilty to the drug charges today. Earlier this month, Ortiola, Jason Sabal Santos Jr., and Roger Balicha were arrested after a raid at Summer Ocean View Towers uncovered packages with meth residue, 4.7 grams of marijuana, and $4,000 in cash. If you recall, Ortiola was fired from the force and sentenced in federal court for selling the drug ice while in his GPD uniform with his duty weapon. His next court appearance is set for February 21st.
The court isn't showing leniency. The bench warrant has been issued for Derek Baza Hills, who was a no-show to his hearing today. The former vice mayoral candidate was previously arrested and charged in cases involving forged signatures for prescription drugs. According to court officials, Baza reported he would be busy with obligations for a family rosary and wouldn't be able to make it family member, according to court officials, was his late grandmother, who passed away in mid-December. Though Judge Anita Sokola stated she understands that a Chamorro Lisadzu or rosary is days long, this excuse was a stretch. She then set bail for $5,000 cash.
Will the government be able to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt? Well, that depends if they can prove the items found in defendant Rene Perez's Chalampago home were in fact drugs. In court on Wednesday, Public Defender Clyde Lemons reported he's yet to receive lab reports from the government. Lemons stating, quote, "I cannot advise my client on what to do unless I know what we really got. I know that we really got drugs," end quote. When asked if testing was done, prosecutor Matthew Phelps reported, quote, "I don't believe so yet," end quote. Phelps further argued that they could prove the items were drugs based on physical characteristics. A follow-up hearing has been set for March 12th. If you recall, Perez is the wife of ex-cop Manuel Perez, who already pleaded guilty to hindering apprehension and official misconduct in this case. Manuel, who is currently serving 6 months jail time, previously told the court that he was trying to get his wife help.
3 defendants facing child pornography charges will likely avoid trial. Paramuswan Somasundaram, Sundram Alagan, and Yvonne Mesa Assumption appeared in court on Wednesday. Parties for each of the defendants reported they continue to work with prosecutors to finalize a plea agreement. The 3 defendants were arrested late last year, accused of possessing 36-second video depicting a 1-year-old and 3-year-old engaged in sexual acts. A follow-up hearing is set for February 13th.
Heartbreaking news happening in the Bluegrass State. 2 teenagers killed and just over a dozen others wounded after a student opens fire on a campus in rural Kentucky.
The tragedy now bringing up concern. Is Guam's public school system ready in the event of the worst? Carmen Chalahi shows us in this next report.
On school campuses, DOE officials say they have a plan.
It's just the basic protocols of what students do and what teachers do, which is to basically find cover inside a classroom or an office space. If it was during break or lunchtime where the students were outside of their classrooms, then they would basically just try and find a covered location and then secure that location. Everyone drops to the floor, remains silent. Waits for law enforcement personnel to arrive on campus and try and address the threat.
Christopher Anderson, DOE Administrator for Student Support Services, says this plan includes continuous training for student staff and central office personnel. The latest training took place last year in collaboration with the Judiciary of Guam.
Over the last year or so, all of our high schools have gone through active shooter training. 2 of our middle schools and I believe it's like 5 of our elementary schools so far have completed actual active shooter training.
DOE places these signs in the building to remind you of what to do in case there's an active shooter, this depending on the threat condition level.
Every office has a threat matrix, and so if we have to elevate our threat from low, medium, or high, we have placards that sort of show the increase in threat level, and then everyone follows the protective measures that they're supposed to, locking their doors.
Although thankfully, there have been no incidents on Guam. National headlines like the latest shooting in Kentucky makes Anderson think twice. It might not be a matter of if, but when.
But based on how things are happening in the United States, maybe it's a matter of when and not if. Something's going to happen. So it's important for us to constantly be training and constantly stay alert to how we're going to respond in case something like that does happen.
For in the case of any emergency, like an active shooter, he says it's better to be safe than sorry. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Thanks, Carmen. We'll stick around for more news here on Primetime.
You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
A year is made of more than just 365 days. It was each new connection, every show of support, and all your special moments. Happy New Year from your friends at IT&E.
Today, we stand at a crossroads.
Our once bright future has been saddled with increasing government debt,
rising healthcare costs,
and teachers who make less than the national average.
Now more than ever, we need leaders who can break us out from the politics of the past that got us here.
And unite our community for a better Guam.
We need experienced leaders who will bring a fresh start to solving the issues we all face.
Leaders who are fair and compassionate.
And will make our island safe and prosperous.
Lou Leon Guerrero and Joshua Tenorio are those leaders.
With proven success in both the public and private sectors,
they understand that a strong economy, not more debt, is the right direction.
With our help, they will make positive changes
in the way our government is managed.
Create more jobs and more opportunities for our people.
Fairly and equitably.
This election, let's all stand and be counted for a better Guam with Lou Leon Guerrero and Joshua Tenorio.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero and I approve this message.
2017 is rapidly coming to an end, and the big finish is on now. At Cars Plus in Mighty, get big year-end savings on a big selection of new 2017 Ram trucks, Jeep Wranglers, Dodge Challengers, and all Fiat models. Plus, buy from Cars Plus today and receive a Cars Plus value card where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Big savings and 21 cents off per gallon with a Cars Plus value card when you buy during the big finish at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Gov Guam can raise taxes without conducting a voter referendum. That's the opinion of Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson in a letter to Legislative Secretary Senator Regine Bisco-Lee. A law passed almost 20 years ago requires voter approval for any tax hike. Lee had asked for clarification on whether that law applies to a recent bill to repeal the GRT exemption for wholesalers, insurers, and bankers. The AG's office has responded to similar questions multiple times in the past, wrote Barrett Anderson. Basically, it found 3 reasons why a vote is not required. When two laws are inconsistent, the latter in time would prevail. Also, the legislature cannot delegate its duty to establish taxes and fees. And finally, one legislature cannot blind the actions of a future legislature. In summary, the AG wrote the legislature is authorized to adjust taxes directly and is not bound or restricted by the referendum requirements as set by law, by the 1998 law.
Heading back to the legislature, discussion surrounded Senator Talina Nelson's proposed Bill 145. The bill would essentially remove the Guam Housing Corporation's requirement to maintain a reserve fund through their revenues and impose fees on the sale and transfer of interest on real property to go towards the Housing Trust Fund program. Representatives from the GHC were called in to discuss the measure. During the Committee of the Whole, one suggestion from the body was to solicit participation from local and regional banks instead of collecting fees. But GHC's Quality Assurance Officer Clyde Beaver says that just won't work.
We have talked to a number of banks, but the big thing is that the cost of the money is greater than what our return would be.
Another concern from the floor was the increase of the tax to go towards low-interest loans for first-time owners who have been on the waiting list. Chris Duenas is the president of the Guam Housing Corporation.
It is this body that will decide where those appropriations go in any iteration of those 12 areas that were also vetted through the AAA process. We have a pipeline of over $14 million of applicants who are otherwise qualified for our lending capital, of which we have probably only $2 to $3 million to loan. So that is obviously an area where we could really help a lot of families with lending capital.
The bill has since been referred back to committee.
Many of us received the alert overnight, a 7.9 magnitude earthquake that occurred last night just off the coast of Alaska. The Guam Homeland, along with the National Weather Service, pushing out that notice that they were monitoring any potential threat to our island.
Yeah, though there were no watches or warnings for us, the recent event raises the question, is Guam ready if a tsunami hits? Arkeana Mandela reports.
No tsunami warnings or watches were issued for Guam after last night's earthquake. National Weather Service meteorologist Chip Gard says the distance between our island and Alaska was too great for any major threat.
Even an 8.2 at that distance probably isn't going to create a destructive tsunami here. So we were more concerned about strong currents.
But it poses the question, is Guam ready if a tsunami strikes? Guam Homeland spokesperson Jenna Blas says the reaction time can range from a few hours to just a matter of minutes.
If it's a locally generated earthquake, something that happens very close by, you might only have even a couple minutes. If it's an earthquake that happens very distant, we have birds of 5 to 10 hours to prepare.
It was in 2009 that Guam received a grant from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration to launch a tsunami education campaign. This included evacuation route signs installed throughout the island. And after major disasters occurring closer to home, in American Samoa and Japan, security has been amped up even more.
The biggest misconception here is that tsunamis won't happen here on Guam, especially since we have the reef surrounding us. We have the largest trench, the Marianas Trench, and unfortunately that's not the case. Although tsunamis can be extremely rare, it definitely can happen here on Guam.
Residents are urged to have preparedness plans in place and to familiarize themselves with tsunami warning signs, all of which can be found at ghs.guam.gov. In 2015, the Guam Homeland Security installed 15 sirens to signal tsunami warnings. In the event of a tsunami, residents should follow evacuation signs to higher ground. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Kiani Mediola.
Now with this week's Think Green, here's Carmen Terlahi.
Think Green, presented by GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Hapa day and welcome to Zephyr Cooling.
If you're in the market for a new AC, what should you look for? Keith Iglesias, owner and operations manager of Zephyr Cooling Technology in Birigata, is part of GPA's Energy Sense program that offers Fujitsu brand cooling systems that can save you anywhere between $250 to $600 in rebate. And they're energy efficient while environmentally conscious.
You want to think about how it's going to affect the environment, I guess. Some of the older systems are 13 SEER, which is really pulling a lot of power and using a lot of energy that GPA is trying to get lower. So when they switch to a Fujitsu system or an inverter system, it really helps with that power savings.
Fujitsu isn't the typical air conditioner, but the compressor stays running and only cools as needed to meet the demands of your house. And when it comes to size, Iglesias says they do home visits to make sure you buy the system that will save you the most money and power in the long term.
So if a customer wants to replace their air conditioner, we'll go out there for free, take measurements of the room that they're trying to cool, and then make a recommendation according to what that room needs.
That recommendation usually includes clearing up misconceptions about saving power.
A lot of people feel like because it's a higher SEER, they want it in the living room, but that doesn't mean it's going to save them power, because 9,000 BTU is not going to cool down a room that needs a 24,000 BTU air conditioner in there. So just because it's a higher SEER, you don't want to put that in there. You want to make sure that the needs is met of that room.
Zephyr Cooling is Guam's first Fujitsu Elite contractor. Since opening their doors in 2009, they've dedicated years to customer service, so you can be sure that your investment is protected.
When Fujitsu comes to Guam, we always do our best to send our technicians to that training, as well as our customer service representatives. That way they understand the Fujitsu technology and they know how to speak to our customers when they have questions.
Questions he says they are more than ready to answer. For this week's Think Green, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlaki.
Think Green, presented by GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Well, sports is coming up right after the break.
But first, here's your island weather.
Managing our wireless data used to drive my family crazy.
But now that we've switched to GTA and get all that bonus data, we're spreading the love. You sure you don't mind the wait, honey?
Take your time. I'm good.
But we're missing the game.
Nope. I've got bonus data from GTA. Come and watch.
Love it.
Get 10 extra gigs of wireless data on every line every month when you bundle. Visit gta.net for more details.
For 20 years, Matson has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Adaki Itano program to generously supporting our local charities, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Tidza Smaasi Matson.
Reduce your energy costs with GPA's Energy Sense program. Energy Sense provides cash rebates with the purchase of qualified energy-efficient air conditioners, washers, and dryers that help reduce your energy usage. Contact GPA today at 647-5787, 8 or 9 to learn more about Energy Sense and other ways to help reduce your monthly energy usage and save money by using energy more efficiently. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. Energy Sense makes good sense.
How does tourism work for Guam? Half a day!
Half a day!
Tourism tax dollars fund improvements around our island. Tourism helps maintain our community centers and public parks. Tourism dollars are invested where it counts, promoting village shops and locally made products. Tourism keeps the spirit of our past alive through restoration of historical sites. Tourism supports environmental efforts that protect our natural resources. Tourism improves our quality of life. It helps make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Tourism works for Guam.
I'm Chase Lovich, the new face of Heineken Light. It has everything you'd want from a light beer, and it tastes great. It's the light beer that has it all.
Cut. What's going on with your teeth?
My teeth. What?
Your teeth.
What about them?
Did you whiten your teeth?
No. Yes.
The light beer that has it all.
What if I do this? Hi, I'm Chase Lovich.
Low calories, low alcohol, and a great taste. Deserves a spokesperson that has it all.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. On the show tonight, boys high school basketball. We'll also hear from Cleveland Browns football player Zach Banner and wrap the show up with some soccer news. Check it out. IIAAG boys high school basketball from the FD Phoenix Center. Tomas Calvo saves the ball from going out of bounds. Pass to Will Camacho. Camacho drives left and goes up with the right-handed floater. Basket's good for 2 points. Pull-up three by Gaybeck Kim, no good. Jacob Oshiro crashing the board off the miss. Oshiro off on the putback. Ball gets tipped back out to him and goes right back up with the jumper. Right place at the right time. Calvo with the corner pass to Tony Canetti, who looks to try and feed the ball inside. No one open, no problem. Canetti makes his way towards the free throw line and pulls up for the shot, gets the bounce and bucket to go. FD with the win over the Harvest Eagles, 85-35. In other games, the JFK Islanders beat out the Simon Sanchez Sharks, 69-45. St. Paul Warriors picked up the win over the St. John's Knights, 84-78. GW earned the 60-46 win over the Notre Dame Royals, while the Ukadu Bulldogs edged out the Teason High Titans, 65-53. A press conference for Cleveland Browns players Zach Banner and teammate Larry Ogunjobi was held at the Sheraton today.
It reminds me a lot of my home back in Nigeria as far as, the community and the family feeling. So being able to come out here and to, be welcomed by guys like Pat and, Zach's family has been really exciting. As far as the food is concerned, it's been really good. I'm liking the island. I'm enjoying it.
Banner back home visiting schools around the island will be hosting a coaches clinic January 24th through the 26th at Guam High School from 6 to 8 p.m. There will also be a players camp for youth on January 29th, high school players on January 30th, and for men's and women's to be held on January 31st at Guam High, all taking place from 6 to 8 p.m.
On the field work we're going to be doing is strictly for O-line, D-line. But kids are more than welcome to come watch, be on the side, you know what I mean? Let's make it a family type atmosphere. And then you know, afterwards and stuff, we're going to be taking pictures and signing autographs anyways. So that way those kids are able to see us and see me. And I don't want to miss them. And I know if we don't get to them in the school visits, then I want them to get their signed ball and stuff too.
In soccer news, the University of Guam Tritons, Napa Rovers FC, and Islas de los Ladrones FC remain the lone unbeaten teams left in the Budweiser Soccer League top division through Week 11 matches at the Guam Football Association National Training Center. The Tritons defeated Shipyard Hadza 5-3. Napa Rovers FC defeated Familia FC 11-1. The Islanders got the win over the Bank of Guam Strikers B 4-2. Islas de los Ladrones 6-0 winners over the Bank of Guam Strikers. Anderson Bombers with the 7-1 victory over Lots of Art Tattoo Heat. And Quality Distributors beat out Eurocar FC 3-2. All right, the big game, Super Bowl 52, February 5th on the stations of KUAM. TV8 Eagles taking on the Patriots. Kickoff set for 9 in the morning. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
I had a dream.
I walked into a dealership, picked out a new car, gave them no money, and they're letting me drive it for free the next 3 months.
At Nissan Guam, your dream has become a reality during the premier New Year event. For the new year, you can drive away a new Nissan with no money down and not make a payment for the next 3 months. It's on the house, no money down. We make your first 3 payments. Just sign and drive away. For details, stop by Nissan Upper Tumon or log on nissanguam.com.
We are on our way to GPO to surprise our prepaid flyaway winner! You could be the next one to win a free round-trip United flight to Manila with 4 of your friends.
Excuse me, are you Moonsha? Yes. You won a trip for you and 4 of your friends to go to Manila!
Just purchase and load any Docomo Pacific prepaid card until February 28th and get automatically entered for your chance to win.
Introducing McDonald's new $1, $2, $3 menu. With favorites for $1, like any size soft drink, or $2, like a sausage McGriddles, or $3 favorites, including Happy Meals. It's your menu. Use it to build the My Roommate Ate My Lunch meal, the Breakfast is on Me meal, or the Father and Son meal.
So you said 2 McChicken and a medium Sprite for only $3.
Exactly. It's your menu with your favorites. Build whatever meal you want. The all-new $1, $2, $3 menu from McDonald's.
Budweiser, Circle K 76, and Busatani Guam Resort present the LOL Comedy Series featuring Josh Blue. Season 4 winner of The Last Comic Standing will be live on Guam for 1 night only on February 3rd at the Busatani Guam Resort. Tickets are $35 for general admission, $45 for table seating, and can be purchased at all Circle K 76 locations. LOL VIP experience is $70 and is sold exclusively at Moses Joints and Agania, and all tickets can be purchased online at lolcomedyseries.eventbrite.com. LOL with Josh Blue, February 3rd at the Busatani Guam Resort. Special thanks to
With every era comes 2 things. Change. And a Honda Accord that defines a generation. Introducing the all-new Accord. The most impressive Honda ever.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy 22nd birthday, Mary Juanita Flores, coming from Grandma, Grandpa, and the entire Flores family. Damian J. Anthony Garcia, happy 6th birthday. We love you so very much. Love Mommy and the whole family.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birthday.
Hey, it's that easy. Well, that's our show. Good night.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.